A workshop for the opposition members of parliament on constitutional and electoral reforms is happening in Kampala and highly attended by the top leaders subscribing to the opposition in Uganda, spearheaded by the LOP, Matthias Mpuuga.
Our requirement to meet cannot be any more urgent than now. Even if we met for a whole day and quarrel as the opposition, it is okay. So that at the end of the quarrel, we find a new motivation and fresh perspective. Very, very important.
The leaders deliberated on the history of Uganda's politics since independence to aid the conversation of bridging the gaps in what they called historical injustice and manipulation of the constitution.
We have a duty, ladies and gentlemen, to collectively give direction because all of us have an equal stake in this, our country. Our country needs us at this defining time, and each of us must honorably and decently play their role.
Professor Mwambusia Ndebesa, an old-hand lecturer of history at Makerere University, shared with the leaders the foundation principles of a concrete constitution, tasking leaders to avoid selfish interests while making amendments in the law.
That a checklist of foundational principles of the constitution be prepared by some members of parliament, maybe with the assistance of some technical experts. You who are gathered here, you can prepare those foundational principles, and they are laid on the table in parliament. And if adopted, they become a guide for future constitutional amendments.
But the respondents argue that achieving the standard rules in formulating reforms in the constitution in Uganda comes at a cost.
For example, we have some of the best anti-corruption laws in the world. Not Africa, but the world. But every year, Transparency International is ranking us as one of the most corrupt states.
What should we do as opposition to make sure we overcome such kind of manipulation? Aware that in the 10th Parliament, opposition voted against the 7 years extension.
This is my judgment, that as a country, as a nation, we do not have conditions that can guarantee writing a new constitution founded on that concrete, anchored on that concrete foundation you're talking about.
Professor Ndebesa wants the leaders to name and shame bad actors spoiling the constitution and preach the gospel against what they call military involvement in the electoral process of the country.
What is important here is political corruption, abuse of public office for political gain, not necessarily economic gain, for political gain. Can you please bring up those issues in parliament? People abusing political office for? Are we saying the constitution alone will solve the problems? No. We should also go and preach the gospel against using the military in political competition.
Leaders of political parties including JEMA, FDC, and Democratic Party were in attendance in the two-day workshop happening in Munyonyo, Kampala. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.